You said not only are they going to offer Klay the max, they're going to offer Kevin Durant the max basically by 6. I didn't want to say 601.
Yeah, this has
it's
been
going to be like 600 and 1 second, right?
Yeah, you got to like check the phone. Just
right. Go.
With seconds on it. Yeah, they've had, obviously this was a discussion because you have 2 players coming off catastrophic injuries. But the night of Game 6, I remember Klay Thompson was in the MRI machine and comes out and says, first, did we win? And second, do you think this will affect my free agency? The answer is no. They want him. They want to keep him. The question with this contract offer, and I think it's been the question the entire time, is are they going to give him all the other bells and whistles? And so
what is that? What are we talking about?
A trade kicker, an opt-out after 4 years, a no-trade clause. Like Steph Curry, when he did his max extension, he didn't get any bells and whistles. And so that kind of set the precedent for the rest of the Warrior contracts that were going to be doled out over the next few years, which is, and those are important contract clauses that players fight for and agents fight for. Now, most people would say just be happy with the 5 years, $190 million, but there's reasons why players, especially star players, want a trade kicker or want an opt-out after 4 years.
Joe Lacob, the Warriors owner, was never going to let Klay Thompson walk out the door.
It's his favorite player.
Yeah. It was the first guy they drafted under his ownership group, and Klay is beloved, guys, in that locker room. Beloved. All the players love him. Steve Kerr and his staff, they all love him. He is a focal point of everything they've been able to do over this dynastic run, and they felt awful for him when he went down, but there was never, ever a chance that he wasn't getting all his money and he was going to go elsewhere. He was always going to be a Warrior.
I mean, this is what separates the Warriors from so many teams, is that they're willing to kind of take care of their players like this and make sure that they're going to be on top. And look, they got tickets to sell at their new arena. They got to make sure, because, one of my friends, he's a season ticket holder, and he told me it's $75,000 per seat just for the license. Okay, so they got to make sure to not only keep this team competitive, but they got to keep guys in their seats. But am I the only one that feels like I kind of wanted just a little intrigue and drama? Maybe just maybe to have Klay take a meeting with one of the LA teams. I just wanted to see that happen.
He never wanted to be anywhere else.
Yeah.
And that was the key all along the last couple of years, and especially in the last couple of months. Klay was like, this is where I love.
Klay came on our show during training camp last year and said, no, I want to resign here. Like, there's been no mystery.
Yeah, he's been pretty consistent. I think the bigger question is with Kevin Durant, and, this is a 30-year-old player coming off an Achilles injury. And I know he's a free agent, but that is something that gives any team or anybody in sports pause, is an Achilles injury. And the Warriors have decided that they are going to do the 5-year max with Kevin Durant as well. I know that shouldn't be a shock to anybody before that injury, but coming off an Achilles, it's something you at least have to think about it. But as you said, Ohm, they're committed to it. This is how you stand behind your players. This is how you show as an organization that you believe in them, you appreciate the championship they've brought you, and you're with them in good times and bad. The question is, how do you pay for that? If both of those guys come back with those max deals,
and then Draymond.
Well, that's the question. You've got Draymond Green. Also, Kevon Looney, right, is expected to get offered the deal right now. Their payroll could top more than $375 million, with $200 of that being in luxury taxes. So you're paying more in luxury tax than you actually are in salary. Golden State also announcing a multi-year contract extension today for both top executives GM Bob Myers and President Rick Welts. They are, of course, responsible for how we got here. Now, I call the new Chase Center, you were just talking about the licenses and stuff. I like to call that the ATM because I believe it is going to print money. Is that the answer? Is that how they're going to pay for all this?
Well, Chase is a bank. They have
my point.
ATM.
It's the ATM.
So they spent somewhere between $1.5 and $2 billion building this. And
it's private money, by the way.
It's private money.
I rail on the show all the time that states and towns and communities should not be paying for arenas. Obviously, there's some tax breaks in and there on, plumbing and all sorts of other things.
But they bought the land. It's private land.
They bought the land and they built the building, and that should be commended.
And so when they spent all that money, every dime that the Warriors ownership group has made has gone back and been reinvested in this project. None of the owners have taken any profit out of the team throughout this entire run.
That's interesting.
All been reinvested.
Okay.
And so, when they did this, it was a legacy play. It's like, we want to build the greatest arena we can build because this is important for our future. Now, Rachel, this is essential not only for their legacy, but this is how you pay for that team. It was never done with that idea. But when you get to this moment, Brian Windhorst and I had this fact in there that the Warriors are already the most profitable team in the league. This Chase Arena is going to add $200 million more in revenue to them every single year. So you know those luxury taxes?
Yeah, there you go.
You know what? I remember several years ago when we were covering the Brooklyn Nets, and we were talking about luxury tax that Mikhail Prokhorov was facing if he had kept Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce and everything like that. Those numbers seem like pennies compared to this. I mean, I cannot believe how big those numbers are, but the Warriors kind of have to do that. I mean, they built this dynastic team. Please, as if I were a Golden State Warriors fan, I just kind of want to see that through.
So over the course of the 5 years, let's say Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson resign. It's 5 years, and then you can do an extension with Draymond as well, and Steph's already on the books. That's going to be almost as much in salary and luxury taxes as they spent to build the Chase Center.
Well, by the way, also, Nick, some teams in the NBA, the current owners bought them for less money than what we're talking about once you throw all those numbers in there.
It's like saving for your kid's college fund, though.
The amount of money that is going to pour into this organization because of this arena, the NBA's never seen before. It is astronomical. And Rach, the ATM point is very valid. It reminds me of my favorite movie, The Goonies, but the Fratellis have that money-making machine in the back. That was counterfeit. This is real money. This is real money, and the amount of money that's going into the suites and the corporate partnerships and everything that's surrounding the arena that they also own is going to be astronomical. So in our minds, we have to recalibrate what it is now money-wise and financially with the Warriors compared to everybody else, because they're going to blow everybody else out of the water.
Astronomical. Are you like dangerously close to the light years ahead?
That's what they want it to be.
I just love that we now know your favorite movie is still currently Goonies. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.